Welcome viewers. Myself Dr. Rakesh Agrawal, editor Insurance Times. Welcome to yet another series on Insurance Times Leadership Speaks. In this series, we invite leaders from the industry to share their perspectives on current trends in insurance industry and future outlook. Our today's guest is Mr. Udayan Joshi, President of Claims and Personal Lines Underwriting at Liberty General Insurance. Before we start the interaction with Mr. Joshi, let me briefly introduce him. Mr. Joshi is associated with the company since 2014, and his key responsibilities include claims and underwriting of personal lines of products like motor, retail, accident and health, home, travel insurance. Apart from this, he also leads various specialized units such as product development, risk and loss mitigation, and analytics. Mr. Udayan has a rich experience of over 13 years in general insurance. With a blend of strategic approach, focus on execution, and openness to innovation, he has been pivotal in delivering of many solutions in the areas of product, process, efficiencies, and controls. Prior to joining Liberty General Insurance, he was the vice president at ICICI Lombard. He is a chartered accountant, company secretary, and has done a specialization in insurance and risk management from ICI. So welcome, Mr. Joshi, to our talk series.
Thank you, Dr. Rakesh. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be interacting with you today. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thank you. So let's start. Liberty General Insurance has been at the forefront of innovating new products and features. We understand that as a part of regulatory sandbox opportunity, you had crafted a policy feature pay for distance. We'd like our audience to know about this in details and also about any such other sandbox related initiatives being worked upon by Liberty General Insurance.
Sure. So, Dr. Rakesh, at Liberty General Insurance, we truly believe in listening to our existing and potential customers and using that as input to create specific insurance solutions that are best suited for them. And during one of such studies, we heard many car insurance sharing their expectation of lower car insurance premium as they really believe that they do not drive a lot. In metros, we often see people choosing to travel by public transport over their own cars simply because of its convenience. And now, if I look at the situation around us, it's now similar for a lot of people who are either partially or fully working from home, given the new normal that we are in. So, we felt that we can meet these expectations by carefully handcrafting some of the unique solutions in motor insurance that respect this individual driving behavior and statistics. And that's how this pay for distance feature was born, wherein car owners who have lesser mileage would get lesser premium as compared to the one who is using the car more on the road. But having said that, this is just one of the features that we introduced during the sandbox. There are many other features. For example, we also heard a lot of car owners talking about the fear that their insurance premium will go up because of some accidents which were beyond their control. For example, a situation like flood, any act of God. So we felt that there is some opportunity for us to ensure that we treat the customers fairly there, and that's how we introduce another feature there, which we call as no fault accident forgiveness. So apart from that, we put together a bouquet of small and innovative features, including roadside assistance and all of that, to make this product richer. And while we were the first movers to introduce these features in the market, certainly this wouldn't have been possible without the progressive policy decision by the regulator allowing such innovations under the regulatory sandbox. We saw thousands of car owners showing their interest towards these innovations. So it's really a success, and I must thank the regulator for this. So at Liberty General Insurance, we are committed to innovate our products, our processes, and with changing customer experiences, changing customer expectations, evolving technologies, we believe that there are many more opportunities for us in this space. So at this stage, I can only say that we are currently working on some breakthrough innovations on the claim side, and we'll soon share more details about it as we get closer to the launch.
Okay. So how is the overall response of the customer, maybe from cities or tier 2, tier 3 cities? Is there, you have any data, or what is the response in smaller cities?
So we received, as I said, few thousands of customers showed their interest in this, and almost 70% of them were from metros and 30% in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. I hope that this soon will change as tier 2 and tier 3 customers also evolve in their insurance choices, be more open for innovation, and they will also start choosing these solutions which are more suitable for them compared to the traditional insurance, which is one color, one brush, and everybody gets painted in the same color.
No, and as this awareness about this new product and their benefits reaches out to the customer, I think they would be more inclined to take this sort of products.
Surely.
Coming to health, we have learned about your Health Prime Connect, comprehensive health insurance plan. Please help us understand about the unique proposition of this plan, and how does it address the increasing consumer demand for health protection? Also, as an organization, how do you envisage the growth and penetration in the health insurance business?
Sure. I think it's very pertinent question at this point in time when we are seeing increased awareness about the need for health insurance in the minds of general public. Unfortunately, it took a pandemic for a large set of people to realize this. But as the awareness is increasing, in my view, one has to be careful about the selection of right insurance cover to avoid those stressful moments that often arise at the time of claims, such as limited sum insured, disease-wise capping, and sublimits. So we launched Liberty Health Prime Connect policy last year with the intent of offering a no compromise health insurance. And there is a reason why we call as no compromise health insurance. This product, apart from focusing on the curative medical treatments, also focuses on preventive aspects of it. So in India, we often hear people talking about challenges of increasing sedentary lifestyle, hypertension, diabetes, and I guess with limited physical movements and stressful days that we have had over last 1 year, I think the risk has further aggravated. And Health Prime Connect focuses on preventing a mild symptom turning into a major disease through its unique wellness program that incentivizes and motivates people to stay healthy. Further, it comes with very high sum insured options, like you can go up to 1 crore of sum insured as well, no sublimits, no room rent capping, no co-payments. It also offers optional benefits of OPD benefit, critical illness cover, also additional innovative features such as cover for organ donor expenses, maternity and child care, second opinion. So all of these things put together, it actually makes it much more comprehensive than what generally we see in the market, the traditional indemnity products. And that's the reason we often call it internally as health insurance without any compromise. And on top of it, there are additional benefits. For example, easy EMI options. Every health insurance also comes with tax saving benefits, and there are additional renewal benefits that make this product a perfect choice for customers. Now, coming to the second part of your question, I feel given the underpenetrated nature in India, health insurance is likely to grow much faster than other lines of business. And at Liberty General Insurance, we are working to ensure that we keep providing most suitable insurance solutions to our customers, be that about products, be that about wellness and well-being of our customers, be that about convenience and ease of doing business, or be that even for our own claims. And demonstrating this commitment, we decided to invest in capabilities for handling medical health claims on our own rather than using a third-party services. So about 3 years back, we set up a full-fledged health claims management unit, a state-of-art unit that we have in Pune. which is manned by medical doctors and their teams who help their customers on everyday basis. During pandemic, we launched 24 by 7 services to take care of all the emergency cases. So when I'm looking at all of these things together, the processes, the technology, the claims capabilities, the products that we have, I think having these capabilities just makes our journey easier as we intend to keep growing faster than the market average in the coming years in accident and health space.
And I think often I come across consumers who are quite confused about with the multiple product of companies with some inclusions, some exclusions. So that they get quite confused. I think since this cover is quite comprehensive, this will help them to just get a single point coverage of all the health.
Absolutely, I agree. That was one of the intent of designing this product. You are bang on.
Coming to again motor insurance, you have been one of the dominant players in motor insurance segment. How do you plan your product strategy in the new technology driven era, and what are the product lines which shall emerge as your focus areas?
Motor insurance is the largest line of business for us, and it is likely to remain so for next few years. While we have a bunch of innovative coverages for vehicle owners, we are also paying minute attention to the changing landscape around automobile, and paying due attention to the changing consumer expectations and preferences as well. I'll just give you a quick example. Very soon we all are likely to start experiencing a shift towards electric vehicles. Some Indian manufacturers and some global OEMs also have announced their entry in India. Now, as this will emerge as a big segment over the next few years, it will also demand customized insurance solutions which are more suited to these electric vehicles. So that's just an example, but on product front, our plan is to think of the future and be ready as far as motor insurance is concerned, because that's the largest line of business that we have. Similarly, on technology front, we are seeing huge change in the way consumers choose to avail our services. Gone are the days when people used to step into our branches and used to prefer having in-person conversation. But COVID crisis has really accelerated the pace of digital adoption in every aspect of our business. With these shifts, changing customer experiences, changing consumer expectations of having end-to-end digital solutions, I think we have great opportunity in front of us to make a difference in this space. And we have been deploying many new age technologies to serve our customers and partners better, including OCR, robotics process automations, a lot of bots, and artificial intelligence. We clearly see higher utilization of self-service features on our website as well as through the mobile app that we have launched for our customers. So we have many success stories with us in terms of investing into digital assets, making them user friendly, and then seeing huge adoption by our customers and partners over a period of time. So with these success stories, the motivation and encouragement that our teams have received, we continue to stay passionate to launch some more technology enabled transformation in the coming months for our motor insurance customers as well as partners that will span across the entire chain, right from policy issuance to the claims settlement process.
I think with technology, the whole process of claim, the time required for claim settlement will also be minimized. Maybe something like live survey of claims and faster processing of claims through garages, and this would be easier from the system.
Yeah, we are looking at two elements simultaneously at Liberty. One is how technology can help us bring more convenience, bring more efficiency in our processes, and the second part is looking at the process itself, because at times I hear that some people feel that a lot of insurance processes are still not disrupted in that sense. People still follow the traditional process.
And quite redundant processes which can be eliminated.
Yeah, so our focus has been looking at every element of process, and coupled with the technology change, how can we make it smoother, how can we make it faster, without diluting any control.
Sure. Coming to InsurTech, with the increasing presence of InsurTech, how do you see the role of distributors evolving in the new environment, considering that general insurance products are primarily transactional in nature and less advisory?
I must say that's a great question, Dr. Rakesh. And to my mind, role of distributors and intermediaries can become more meaningful over a period of time as the transactional aspects of our insurance business will be soon taken over by technology to a large extent. What this offers is a great opportunity for our distributors to upskill themselves, to work with insurance companies and reposition themselves as advisors and not just intermediaries or distributors. So given the low level of insurance awareness, increasing number of products, rising complexity in the coverages, I think distributors can play a role of offering right and more importantly all round advice to people. At times we hear people regretting their decision of going ahead with the cheapest quote that they received at the time of policy buying, instead of fully understanding the coverages, instead of understanding the ethos and service levels of that insurance company. So if I just hear those stories from the end customers, I really feel that distributors can play a great role here. Similarly, from product standpoint, I think there is huge opportunity that distributors can play a role in. We have segments such as health insurance, motor insurance, property and liability insurance, which are grossly underpenetrated at this point in time. So there is an opportunity for distributors to make an impact in those lines and thereby help insurance companies, help themselves, and help society at a large by increasing the penetration of insurance in India. So in my view, the role is likely to evolve, and both insurers as well as distributors need to be well prepared for this.
And do you plan some awareness programs for distributors also? Because unless they understand the product and processes of your company, they will not be able to take it to the customers. So do you conduct some awareness programs?
Absolutely. So we followed a multi-layer approach here. One is creating the awareness. Second is getting into specialized training, because some of the products that we are talking about, for example, niche products in health insurance or SME or liability insurance, this requires command over subject, and some of these products are not as easy as motor insurance. So in the second layer, what we introduce is dedicated trainings to these partners so that the product proposition gets transparently communicated to our potential customers, and thereby consumers exercising that informed decision of buying one insurance over others. So the point is extremely fair. And what we have also learned over the last 12 months is digital is more effective than what was anticipated. So we are trying to make the most of online platforms to impart these trainings and create awareness now.
And since distributors are the first point of contact with customers, so they need to take your philosophy of the company to customers. So they need to be better trained.
Absolutely. They play a very important role in the entire ecosystem.
Sure. You have been leveraging technology for quite some time. Can you help us understand the initiatives which shall enable ease, efficiency, and speed for customers in terms of buying process, servicing, and claims?
Sure. Mainly, we have been looking at technology from two lenses. The first one is creating digital front ends, which act as a business enabler, bringing a lot of speed for our partners, for our customers, bringing a lot of convenience and ease of doing business, as we call, and bringing in a lot of efficiency in the process. So things like enabling self-service through our portals, through our mobile apps, and thereby being available for customers and partners 24/7 is just an example of this. The way I'm looking at it is, beyond just transaction processing, we have been focusing on end-to-end digital experience in all the critical customer journeys, and thereby we ended up creating several functionalities that we launched over last 18 to 24 months, which enable real-time policy issuance, real-time endorsements, claims notification, document submission online, empowering customers and partners for activities like self-surveys. And we see great adoption of all of these functionalities. These are received really, really well. Apart from that, we also ensure that we make it easy for the end users. For example, uh, I often hear this feedback from consumers that I just have to process one transaction and you guys come and tell me to download an app. My mobile phone is as good as a real estate, and why would I give that space to you just for one transaction? And we keep hearing our customers, and that acts as a great input for us. So we have been using WhatsApp powered by bots, a lot of digital links rather than forcing customers to download our apps. And again, for all the customers who are not comfortable downloading app for single transactions, we are seeing great adoption there as well. Secondly, the way we look at technology is a way to optimize cost for the company and in turn for our policy holders, because if we are able to contain our cost, we are in a position to offer better prices to our customers. So here the focus is on reducing, if not completely eliminating, the non-core, non-essential activities that Dr. Rakesh, you just spoke about a couple of minutes back. It's important not to dilute any of the insurance controls that we have in the process as we are doing it. So it's more of inward looking approach that helps us improve the overall turnaround time through automation. We eliminate errors by using technologies like OCR, because we often hear that one data entry mistake and that results in substantial change in the overall outcome. So it's important for us to eliminate those errors using technology. Then we also use robust document management system, which completely does away with things like document filing and storage. We are using bots very aggressively to ensure faster response. And we are one of the early movers to explore and introduce use of artificial intelligence for car inspections and claims processing as well. And when I look at all of this, the real and true testimony, I believe, is when we see all of these efforts translating into higher NPS from our customers. The net promoter scores are increasing substantially since we launched some of these initiatives. So the plan is to achieve newer heights in this, offer better products at a better price to our customers, deliver improved and, more importantly, predictable service levels when it comes to claims. So that's our overall outlook about technology.
Yeah, the experience, the demands of customers, I think, or expectation, you can say, are increasing day by day, because as they are buying goods from Amazon and these online things, so now everybody wants everything on tip. So they don't have time to just wait for the service to come, or the policy bond to come, or to file the claim. So they now want everything on a tip.
Absolutely.
So I think technology will help in these areas.
Yeah, and I personally believe that each of the expectation that you talked about is very genuine and reasonable one. Now the responsibility is on us to make it happen as early as possible. So there is nothing wrong if a retail customer expects insurance companies to deliver experience same as Amazon or any other online platform for that matter. I think we have huge opportunity there to improve ourselves.
Sure. You recently launched TVC Bharose Ka Wada, is high on emotional quotient and appeals to the customer for the protection and security needs. So we would like our audience to understand your campaign storyboard during these learning times.
Again, I mean, this is something that's very close to my heart, because when I look at insurance, it's more of an emotional subject for most of our policy holders than a commercial one, because in the event of claim, as we often refer as the moment of truth, that's the real testimony of this relationship between policy holder and the insurance company. So taking a step back, you know probably trust is one of the strongest sentiments for all of us as human beings. All individuals, families, we all always gravitate towards things that we can lay our trust on. And this sentiment has only become crucial given the current times of uncertainty. So, at Liberty General Insurance, we have always believed in keeping our promises and commitment towards our customers. So, for our TVC, we wanted a storyline and communication that would truly represent our intent and belief. And hence, Bharose Ka Wada that has beautifully come out, which clearly caters to this sentiment. So literally translating to a promise of trust, the tagline signifies our brand's commitment towards taking care of our customers through our values of responsibility and trust. So if you look at the TVC explores two parallel stories. Two families whose regular lives get interrupted because of sudden mishaps, and how Liberty General Insurance's quick claim settlement, digitally integrated processes help those families sail through the tide. Through the story of these two families, we get a glimpse of their different yet interconnected lives and the beautiful way they weave together through this common thread of trust and responsibility. So I agree with you. It's more emotional, but I guess that's what our business is all about.
Sure. Mostly you see all these good taglines in life insurance policies companies more. So it seems nice that GI is connecting in that way. Broadly speaking, what's your outlook about the general insurance business in India? What key trends do you see shaping up in next few years?
As I look around us, there is a lot of volatility, and amongst all of this volatility, I think general insurance is probably one of the better placed industries at this stage. We are seeing increasing awareness about insurance in the minds of general public, and hence demand is likely to be high over medium to long term. At the same time, regulator has also stepped up and mandated some standard products to be sold by insurance companies. And what it does for retail consumers is it simplifies the purchase decision for common people. Like you don't have to compare too many products. You don't have to get trapped in fine prints of the insurance contract. So products are simple, products are transparently communicated, and thereby it makes the choice easier for the for common people to buy an insurance. So I expect a positive impact of these changes going ahead, and hence some of the lines that are currently under penetrated, for example, health insurance, home insurance, SME insurance, are likely to occupy a bigger share in medium to long term.
I think this MSME sector and all also is going to get a great action in time to come.
Absolutely. I think that's the area where value of insurance is the most, because those are relatively smaller units. The lot of people have their livelihood dependent on those businesses, and hence it's important to be uh, it's important to stay protected for MSME owners from insurance standpoint.
And do you think in coming days we need to have more stronger risk management culture among our companies, our the customers that you are servicing, so that it helps to build the market as on a whole, the whole ecosystem grows if the risk management culture is strong?
Absolutely. So I have two suggestions here. One is the risk management culture in itself. Identifying risk. How do we mitigate it? How do we make people aware about it? And how do we take corrective actions to ensure that the unfortunate loss event is actually prevented? So that's one part of it. Second important thing, I guess, is the importance of data and using those analytical insights effectively. Because the insurance industry has been old enough and has been gathering a lot of data about customers, about loss events, and hence it's important to make the best use of that data and ensure that the products that we create, the pricing that we offer to our customers, the service that we offer, the promise that we make to our customers, the commitment that we make to our partners is all well calculated so that it stays in a sustainable manner, rather than one company coming and committing a price for this month and then next month realizing that it's not sustainable and hence changing it. So I think apart from risk management, I would just add this element of making the effective use of data and analytics to make it a success. I think that's also a great potential for the industry as a whole. And sorry, you were saying something?
No, please continue.
Okay. So just to add to what I said earlier, I think our industry in some ways also reflects the economy. So and it's practically impacted by every single change that happens in the ecosystem. So as the economy bounces back, industry is also likely to grow bigger. And similarly, there are aspects like mobility, healthcare, infrastructure, technological advancements. All of these things have direct impact on the industry. And as I look at the pace of these recent changes compared to what it was about a decade back, I would expect some radical changes in the way industry operates, especially in the areas of product innovation, distribution, and claims management. As I said, I also expect increased use of data and analytics in every part of our business. But on the whole, all of these changes will lead to better products for the consumers, more appropriate pricing, and highly efficient processes on the part of insurance companies. So there are a lot of changes that are likely to happen over the next few years. But lastly, what I would like to say is, we often describe insurance also as a noble profession because it makes a large and positive impact on the society as a whole. It has a responsibility towards society, and that has been, well demonstrated during the unfortunate events of natural calamities. I'm pretty much confident that this one thing about the industry is not likely to change, despite all the other changes that I talked about. So, a bright future, well positioned, and huge opportunity and potential for us to make a difference.
In fact, this FDI limit, which were announced just recently in the budget. So, how do you see this move helping insurance companies become more stronger and enable business expansion and fostering the next level of growth? I think you have already touched upon the growth aspect. So I think with this FDI, the things should move in a more faster pace.
Absolutely, I agree. So increase in FDI limits in insurance sector from 49 to 74% is a welcome step. And more importantly, it is announced at a time when it is needed the most. This move will make insurance companies more stronger. That will enable them to expand their business. Further, as I said, the general insurance business in India is underpenetrated, and to some extent, it's still evolving. So this step would actually foster the growth of insurance industry and take it to the next level by bringing in the global expertise on products, processes to Indian insurance market. So insurance serves a social cause as well, and hence it's essential that it reaches to everyone in India, be that small cities or metros spanning from villages to cities like Delhi and Mumbai. And I think this move from government will facilitate the much needed inflow of capital that is required to accomplish this task of going deeper and spreading ourselves wider. Lastly, global insurers deepening their presence in India through this initiative, Indian consumers can expect to be benefited because it's likely to bring in better products, efficient processes that are tried and tested elsewhere in more developed economies, and it has been a success there. So I think it's a win-win situation for consumers as well as the industry.
I think we are coming to the end of the session. So any other key development or thought you'd like to add upon if I have missed anything, or you'd like to add upon as a closing comment?
So I just wish to thank you, Dr. Rakesh. really thought-provoking questions you asked. You covered the entire gamut of our business, right from technology to processes, motor insurance to health insurance to FDI. So thank you for this interaction, and my best wishes for the journal and all the activities that you are undertaking.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Joshi, for this interesting session and sharing your candid thoughts on about the new developments in your company as well as the industry. So thanks a lot for joining. This is all from today's edition. We will be again back with a new edition of Leaders Speak series soon. Thanks, audience. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Joshi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.